Welcome to the Reality Revolution. I'm your host, Brian Scott. I have a delightful channeling from Q'uo today. I always enjoy reading Q'uo. By reading the words out loud, I feel as if I am merging with this group consciousness. The more and more I read them out loud. So if you ever get a chance, read one of these out loud. You may find it to be a powerful spiritual exercise. But thank you for joining me. And we have an interesting one today. Q'uo addresses how to balance energies of love, wisdom, power, and service. Balance always ends up being an interesting perspective from Q'uo. We've talked about balancing the shadow. We've also talked about balancing exercises that Q'uo and Ra teach in balancing your day and the emotions that you have. But deep within this, there is great wisdom in understanding our transition as we access these energies and ideas in our evolving consciousness. We begin with the channeling on September 18th, 2022. The question, can you talk to us about how to balance energies of love, wisdom, and power and service to others? Jim channeling, Q'uo, I am Q'uo, and am with this instrument. We greet you all in love, in light of the one infinite creator. We are honored to be called to your group this evening. This is an honor which we treasure, for it is our desire to share the Confederation philosophy with all those who seek it, with all those who want to become more aware of their own nature and their own journey through this octave of densities. We would ask you this evening, before we begin, a reply to your query, that you examine our words and our thoughts carefully as we speak them, so that only those which have meaning to you at this time will be accepted by you, and all those which do not have meaning for you at this time may be set aside until a later time or ignored altogether. For we do not wish to put any stumbling block in front of any seeker of truth. We are, in fact, as are you, seekers of truth, seekers of the one infinite creator that resides within all things. And we wish to share that which we have learned on our own paths. If you will do us this favor, we may speak more freely, and we thank you. The question tonight is that which each seeker of truth must find some kind of answer to, for how to balance the love of the Creator, the wisdom of the Creator, and the power of the Creator within one's own being is a process which every conscious seeker undertakes perpetually within the life experience. This is not what you would call a one-and-done experience. Each day, it is necessary in some measure to look first to that heart of love which beats within each soul and within each body, within each mind. This heart of love is a reflection of the love of the one infinite creator that created the entire universe out of love. Each of us, therefore, is made of this love, this all-compassionate, all-accepting love that sees everyone as a creator, that looks past any seeming distortions that would not appear to be love, and sees to the heart of each being where love resides, where there can be nothing but love there, for all is made of love. Moving to the concept of wisdom and how it may balance with love, the wisdom that is within your mind complex is that accumulation of lessons on your spiritual journey, which have fueled your journey in another way. It has refined that love that is the heart of your being, the heart of the creation, until it is able to move into the realm where decisions can be made as to the next step to take on the spiritual journey. These steps that you take are informed by love and by light, and in a balanced manner, so that the power of the combination of love and light may be able to manifest in your own life journey as the ability to make the choices of service to others that are the fundamental nature of your journey. This choice is that which moves you as a pendulum, moves the air, indicates the direction, the choice, the movement in consciousness that is the path of the conscious seeker of truth. This type of power is a kind of fuel for the spirit, which is the heart of your being of a mind-body-spirit complex. This spiritual nature connects you with all of the qualities of the one infinite creator that have made the entire creation so that you are a portion of that cosmic mind, that infinite intelligence that has decided to know itself in a manner which is possible through all of the choices that you make in all life experience as you move consciously along your spiritual path into the realms of service to others, realms that are more and more varied, more intense and more pure, as you continue your journey of seeking and serving the one that is in all. This is your journey. This is your joy. This is your destiny. You are all a portion of the one infinite creator, and this is what you are here to do, to be of service to the one that you see in each entity around you, in each portion of the creation around you. For the entire creation is alive, and the Creator breathes its breath of life in all places. So you look there within and without to find that which is your goal in life, to serve that one who is in all. At this time, we shall transfer this contact to the one known as Trisha. We are those of Quo. We are those of Quo, and we are now with this instrument. Before we begin discussing the most important query, we would like to issue an additional note of gratitude for this circle of seekers. The love generated within it is a most potent battery and inspiration to each seeker, each fellow self, and this instrument in particular at this time. This query pertaining to the balance between love, wisdom, and power is, as we have said, a most important aspect of the incarnational journey of each entity. Through this instrument, we would like to attempt to speak to the idea of this balance, for you see, we view each soul, each entity, and each incarnation as unique as a fingerprint, as unique as a grain of sand, infinite in variety, infinite in possibility, perfectly imperfect. Hence, this balance between these three forces, these three elements, are not uniform between each seeker. What is balance to this instrument may not be seen as balance to another entity. We recommend that balance, or the parameters of that which you may be perceiving as balance, can be discovered through deep introspection, silent meditation, reflection, all of which may study the personal self's intentions, motivations, doing so in a vulnerable and authentic state that then allows the self to gauge, if you will, the levels, as you may call them, of where the heart is, where the mind is, where the strength is. When one is able to sit in this space, discovering its own specific, unique report of its various levels of love, wisdom, and power, then the self can more effectively attempt to foster the work that allows these three elements to become more in line with one another. And that balance can be achieved through many methods. This instrument is struggling with deep concentration, therefore we shall take a pause to deepen the contact. We thank you for your patience. We might suggest that the greatest, most potent, most rich well for achieving or working towards balance would be the simple idea of experience. Think of all the experiences one's incarnation has been gifted that have been beautiful, powerful lessons. Educating the self to love more fully, to understand more deeply, to show up more authentically. When one is able to take stock of those experiences, reflect on them, see what has been achieved, one can see how far one may have come. One may also be able to notice certain patterns in experience. Perhaps the lesson seemed to be focused on love, loving the self, loving the others, loving the Creator, having a more open heart. Perhaps the lessons were focused upon wisdom, knowing how to ground the self, knowing when to exercise the mind in a loving way, knowing how to utilize the intellect in service to others. And finally, perhaps those lessons dealt with the element of power, knowing one's strengths and weaknesses, recognizing when strength can be used to help, and even when strength has been used to hurt. So we ask that when you are beginning to orient the self, that one perform a bit of an evaluation, a gentle, non-judgmental evaluation of the life experiences, seeing what lessons have been learned, seeing what that tells the self that the self must work on to achieve this balance. This is but one method that we may suggest. This instrument, Growing Fatigued, would like to again thank this circle of seekers for the patience, the love, the wisdom, and the power each and every one has brought to the circle today. And at this time we shall leave her and transfer our contact to the one known as Kathy. We are those of Quo. Kathy channeling. We are those of Quo, and we are now with this instrument. We first would like to extend a thanks through this instrument to you, all who have gathered here today with your love and your wisdom and your power of your spirit and seeking. For all of this has contributed to an increase, an enhancement in the growth in the journey of each one here. We would like to continue the theme as has been begun in exploring the ideas of balancing love and wisdom and power as an extension of working with and examining and improving upon the understanding of each one's life experience. So we may suggest that it may be useful in your daily meditations as you ready the self for the day, or as you reflect upon the day just a past to consider as you perform the process of knowing thyself, accepting thyself, and becoming the creator, which many seekers here do daily, that you may consider incorporating the idea of balancing love and wisdom and power as a part of this process of knowing thyself, accepting self, and becoming the creator. For in the creator, all of these qualities and elements are already balanced in perfect balance, and we can see that reflected in each of us. So in knowing thyself, it seems a simple idea to understand that they are already balanced in the self. They may only seem to be in balance from time to time through experiences, but they are in balance. For that is how we are created, as a perfect reflection of the Creator. And so we may suggest that in knowing thyself, taking a moment to go within the heart and to feel each of these qualities, love, wisdom, and power, in balance, to feel how that feels and to attune to that balance, and then in accepting self, the next step, accept that this is the reality within self. Carry it forth into your day and accept it in other selves as well. Be the mirror to the other self of balance and see and accept back from each other that reflection of balance of these qualities. When one may seem to have a difficult experience, should we say, one may go back to that reservoir within self of pure love and pure wisdom and recalibrate within the emotions and within the mind, within the spirit, until that balance is felt once more. It could be in a situation of returning the sparkle to one's eye, returning the smile to one's mouth, as one interacts with another self who may be in despair or in a state of upset, thereby helping that other self to balance themselves. This can be powerfully energetic and balancing from one to another, and to another, touching many selves, many hearts, as this is reflected on and on, from self to self. In this way, on a daily basis, we become the creator, balancing and rebalancing these essential qualities using the power of the spirit, the desire of the heart to become the creator through knowing and accepting ourselves. This may be one way we may suggest may be useful in your contemplations and in your meditations. It is our pleasure to have been with you this day. We now transfer the contact to the one known as Austin. We are those of Quo, Austin channeling. We are Quo, and we are now with this instrument. As we continue our examination of balancing these energies of love, wisdom, and power, we turn now to focus upon the aspect of the query, asking how these may be utilized in service to others. Of these three aspects, the aspect of power is that which allows and potentiates an individual to bring about the culmination of this balance into the world and utilize it in order to serve others, in order to manifest the reality in which love and wisdom may shine. This power, from one perspective, may be seen as the ability of an individual to influence the creation about them. To put a positive spin on this perspective, we may say that it is the ability of an individual to partake in co-creating with other self and with the Creator, a creation of love and light. For when the seeker attempts to balance these aspects, they are indeed crystallizing their being so that it is indeed the power and the love and the wisdom of the Creator that flows through them. And the seeker moves as one with the Creator and with the creation. We may ask you then how you may utilize the potential to influence your creation as you have discovered within yourself. What may you do to manifest power and present power? With this instrument's permission, we wish to utilize a memory from his past. And we thank this instrument for the willingness and assure him that the relevance will become clear. At an earlier time in this instrument's life, he went through what could be described as a dark phase or a depression and found himself feeling invisible, as if he did not exist and was not noticed by those about him. And on one day he was walking at a point he would describe as the lowest of his lows, when another entity approached. Believing that this entity would not see him and not acknowledge him, he continued as if there would be no interaction. But this other self looked into his eyes, offered a smile, and said a single word of hello. This was the extent of this interaction, and yet the reverberations from this single, simple moment have resonated within this instrument for many years since that day. We offer this instrument story in order to provide an example of how power need not be a grand demonstration, some incredible act of service seen by all to be truly effective. A single word and a simple smile may completely transform a life. We ask you, what efforts may you make to bring about such transformations in another self's life? Such manifestation of service may be large or it may be simple, but even the simplest acts of service may contain the infinite power of the one Creator. We ask you, seekers who wish to find a crystallized balance between love, wisdom, and power, to contemplate the potential of the Creator in any given moment, and how that potential may be tapped, even with the lightest touch, to bring about the greatest transformation. As you have gathered here as a circle, we can witness with great clarity the potential manifested that we believe you all sense. We are joyed to partake in this manifested potential, and will bring it with us on our own journeys, and ask you to bring it with you as you travel back out into the world. And remember the power contained within this potential as you seek to share your love as a co-creator with the world. We now take leave of this instrument and transfer the context to the one known as Jim to offer our closing thoughts. We are Quo. I am Quo, and I'm once again with this instrument. We thank all of the instruments gathered this evening for their willingness to participate in this journey of moving further along the road of expressing the art of channeling. We feel we have had a good contact with each, and we would thank all those gathered here this evening for opening your hearts to us, for we can feel the open-hearted love moving around the circle as if the cyclotron is in motion, bringing the power of love and light of the one infinite Creator into full expression within the circle. We hope that each will take some of that inspiration of love, light, and power into the home of your own heart. And let it become that which is the most obvious expression of the nature of your being as you move through your daily round of activities. For this is the great challenge, to take that which is known to be true and to reflect it on a daily basis. However difficult it might be, so that all may see and you may feel the transforming power of love and light blended together and balanced into the power of moving into the one infinite Creator. This experience within the third density illusion becomes that which is enhanced evermore by your expression of love, of light, and of power. We are known to you as those of Quo. We leave you now in the love and in the light of the one infinite Creator. Adonai Vasu Boragas. Now, I could have added another channeling to this, but I really felt like this channeling should be left alone by itself for this episode. Simple is powerful, and it's important. And as they say, each of us on our spiritual path have to come to grips with how we balance our wisdom, our love, and our power. We know what these things mean, and we understand what they're defining love, wisdom, and power as. But we continue to learn more and more what wisdom means and what love means and what power means. This is a unique channeling because this is one of the first where Kuo is talking about creating your reality. They rarely address that subject, but it is part of the power. And so when I teach you reality creation, I'm teaching you how to balance this power, because most of us are using it unconsciously all the time, and it is a disservice to others. The world that you've created around you is a sort of whirlwind, a tornado, a hurricane of events that are affecting other people. When we create our reality, we create everyone's reality. The more powerful we are, the more we can create. While many of us are simply asleep, allowing the subconscious to do the creating, not even knowing that we're creating this reality. So this is wisdom, and we balance this wisdom because you can reach a point where you can use it for yourself. You can create a reality that does all the things you want it to do, which is the natural instinct of a realization of this reality. But you can use this reality to improve others. And it can be a very simple thing. It doesn't have to be dramatic, as Kuo explains. You can look at somebody and say hello and show them attention and love. And from that, I think you can change the world one moment after another. And our experiences add to the balance of wisdom. Our experiences that we go through, we can find balance, as they say, through silence, deep introspection, through reflection, through meditation, by studying our intentions and motivations, by going within in a vulnerable and authentic state. And then we can sort of gauge at what level we're at, and we can be truly realistic about our own hearts and our minds and what we truly know in terms of wisdom and what kind of power we truly have. This is a process that we're all going through. Once you come out of the other side, you can use this knowledge that you gain and the power that you have to be of service to others. You can imagine and use this amazing ability to change the lives of those around you. And when you do, it is so much more fulfilling than simply creating your reality around yourself. This balance is an ongoing lesson because many of us come into this power on that selfish path, not really knowing that there is an alternative, only focused on survival. Root chakra closed, just constantly trying to survive. And that breeds a selfish sort of attitude within. So balance has to come because you're going to get your power. You're going to have amazing things happen. Perhaps you're in that stage where you have amazing things happening for you. And they will continue to happen for you as long as you believe and apply these principles and continually imagine and create your reality. We also have a comment here in which Kuo actually mentions the word pendulum, saying all these choices of service to others moves you as a pendulum moves the air, indicating the direction, the choice, the movement in consciousness that is the path of the conscious seeker of truth. And so the ultimate pendulum is choosing between self or service to others. And by choosing those moments of service to others, you're feeding that pendulum, and it grows and it moves you. And it moves you in a direction towards service, naturally, like the flow of a river or ocean. There's a beautiful visual that's given at the end of this channeling that I also imagine for each of us that are listening to this podcast now. Right now, I feel the open-hearted love moving around each person that hears the vibrations of my voice in their ears or is watching this video. As if the cyclotron is in motion, bringing the power of love and light of the one infinite creator into full expression within the reality revolution as I speak. I hope that this offers you inspiration to further love, for further light, to balance the power within you, in your heart. As your wisdom grows, your heart grows, and your power grows. It all goes together in perfect balance. Let it become that which is the most obvious expression of your nature. Let it become, as Kuo tells us, who you are. Let it become a part of your identity that you serve. Feel it flowing in your heart, that joy, that gratitude to be of service, and watch the joy come back to you, reflected back to you in the most amazing ways. It's a little secret. All you got to do is make this little transition in your heart, and the flow will change. You'll be pushed like a pendulum into a path, a vibrational timeline in which you are given the most amazing opportunities to be of service to the most amazing people that will light up your life and change you in so many amazing ways that it goes beyond just survival, that goes beyond just getting your next paycheck, your next home. You are so much more than that. The universe is your home and is your next paycheck. You are the universe, and you're here for this purpose, and you're opening yourself up to it no matter what situation you're in. Because as your power grows, you'll naturally be able to deal with all those things that you worry about now without even thinking about it. All of that's not going to be important. The key is allowing yourself to move into the pendulum of service to others and the love that you feel in your heart, gaining wisdom every day and balancing it within the power that you use. You can find all episodes of The Reality Revolution at therealityrevolution.com. Buy my art. Hundreds of new arrivals at newearth.art. Welcome to The Reality Revolution.